Welcome to day 58, steady and ready. We've got 2 trisets today that we'll be making our way through. Each, we're gonna be completing 3 working sets. Movement 1A is gonna be an inline lunge. So generally speaking, when we lunge, we usually have a wider base of support. Today, we're gonna have a relatively small base of support. We're still gonna load the front of our body, the front leg, driving our heel into the floor to try to get as much of that tension through the glute area. Our back foot is on the tippy toe, and we're gonna stand up in that relatively inline position and then return back down towards the ground. You can absolutely load this anteriorly in the goblet position and or on the side with 2 objects. Movement 1B is an alternating wide neutral grip bent over row. We're gonna get into our deep hip hinge position. We're gonna bring our elbows out nice and high to the side of our body, and the palms of our hands are gonna be facing one another. From this position, we're gonna release one limb at a time and then returning to that isometric position at the top. We're gonna be accumulating 12 reps per side. Movement 1C is gonna be a squeeze press. We're gonna lay on our back, having our heels pulled towards our head so we have tension through the lower body, and we're gonna press both of our implements up towards the sky and then bring them in really tightly to each other so we're actually pushing the weights together. We're then gonna lower the weights or the implement from home down towards the chest and press back up. So even though we're moving up and down, we've got an isometric rep happening of pushing both limbs together. Moving on to our second tricep. Our first movement here is going to be a lean away lateral raise. So you can use a door frame or a structure beam in the home, whatever you've got accessible to you. You're going to place your feet nice and close to the wall or the structure that you're leaning away from, and then you're going to hold on with your free arm so that the body is on an angle. You're then going to lift the working arm up to about shoulder height and return only part way back down. You're gonna complete all 12 reps without returning to that start position beside the leg. Once you've finished one side, you're gonna flip over and complete the other side. Movement 2B is gonna be a hip car controlled articular rotation. We're gonna start in our quadruped position to begin. And we're then going to create a little bit of tension by pulling our hands through our thighs, thighs through our hands. We're gonna take our right knee and we're going to lift it as far to the chin as we possibly can without breaking motion through the back. So we're gonna go into knee flexion here, hip flexion, and then we're gonna open our leg and our hip out to the side as high as we can, kind of like you're a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Again, wanting to take caution that we're not leaning over or bending through the rest of the body to get there. Once we have gone as high as we possibly can, we're then gonna finish this little circle that we've been making with the hip. We're gonna lift the knee, the ankle, around the side of the torso, going into as much hip extension that we can get. Now when we get to this top position, we want to be cautious that we're not overarching through the lower back. All of that movement is coming through the hip area. Once you can no longer go any farther here, you're going to go back to the beginning of the movement to complete again. We'll have 3 going in one direction, and then we're going to perform 3 reps in the other direction, meaning that we're going to now reverse, kicking our heel behind our head. So we're going to go into hip extension. We're going to open up the hip like you're a doggy peeing on the fire hydrant. You're going to drive the knee into the armpit and then bring it all the way back into that starting position. We'll perform 3 in that range, and then we're going to switch over to the other side. Movement 2C is a narrow stance glute bridge. So you're gonna place your feet relatively close together, definitely closer than you usually would for a glute bridge. We're gonna push our lower back into the floor. We're gonna drive our arms into the ground. And we're gonna lift up through the hips. We're gonna be performing 30 repetitions from this narrow stance. If today's training protocol kept you steady and ready, then give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. Have a great day.